There are many different templates that we can co-create with to co-create with time. And in third density consciousness, in the 3D, we co-create with linear time, meaning we literally have the template of perception of a past, a present, and a future. A lot of people within all people within third density consciousness that have not taken a journey of ascension in any way, shape, or form and uploaded templates from different consciousness streams of fourth or fifth or sixth consciousness streams will tend to live predominantly within the past and or the future. In fact, a lot of people on the planet very rarely live in the present moment of now. Even if they are in the moment of now, their mind is processing the past or thinking about the future or comparing the current moment to. Does this resonate for you? Who here has noticed that over the years of your ascension, you have been able to perceive more of the present moment, receive a sunset, receive a flower, right? That our ascension and different templates of consciousness welcome us more and more and more into this moment of now. Yet at the same time, there are strings of attachment to the past and to the future, strings of attachment within us as we shift and as we evolve, some strings of attachment to past versions of ourselves within the way that our mind has collected the data. And they're literally cords into those versions. Those cords are therefore carrying those versions with us. And so an example of this is, if this is us, and imagine that there are cords of attachment to previous versions of self based upon the, so you are in the now, and these previous cords, these cords of attachment to previous versions of ourselves literally have us carry these versions with us. Then there are attachments to future versions of self that have us carry these with us. Now, in some ways, this is a powerful form of creation because we have a cord of attachment to a vision. And when we do this, we in the now are co-creating with that frequency. Does this make sense? In other times, though, we can be connected to future aspects or future projections of ourselves, and yet there could be an even higher version of what's available, yet when we're fully connected into one, we're not open to receive an even more abundant version of that reality. Does this resonate? And so when we have templates, when we have the template of time running in our field that is connecting us to linearity, past, present, future, we then can limit our creations by hooking into something and holding on for dear life because it has to be this way or no way for future. And we can also be carrying a lot of stuff with us from the past. Yes. Now in healing, when we heal, we literally dissolve cords of attachments to previous perceptions and experiences. And once we've done that, that version and the connection to that version literally, in a way, it appears to just disappear. It's not that this version disappears out of the quantum field. It's the attachment, the string of attachment to that version that's no longer there. Does this resonate? And if we up level or we perceive a previous situation to like through a higher consciousness, we can then attach to a different perspective, which means a new story, a new narrative, and this frequency now co-creates with us. There is another way for us to co-create with time, and it goes beyond this, meaning this template of past, present, future, of having our past be relevant and having our future. Now, before I say this, The other process that this creates, this template of linearity, is that the past can reflect into the future for some. Meaning, if someone's only ever experienced scarcity financially, then it can be projected into the future, meaning that this is all I know. Does this make sense? That there's like a past literally projecting into the future and mirroring each other, which means that once again, the soul is not sovereign. Brand new in this moment of now, create a consciousness. They're literally within this illusion, this hallway of mirrors, so to speak. Now, the Scroll of Soul Time invites us out of this architecture. And this is why it's a big one and why it's a babushka doll. Because this architecture has been running the show for, well, you tell me, how long has this architecture been running the show for you in this incarnation? From day one, right? Now, Sata ikta arahata ushatai sutuita. There is another architecture. And this is the first layer of the babushka doll. I'm going to be explaining some layers of the babushka doll for you. Hutai satai. Shoo, 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 shoo. The first layer of the babushka doll is to receive and fully land that every version of us is sovereign. What does that mean? Every version of us is the only version of us. And whoever we co-create with is determining our flow within the quantum field, which means that the version of us, for argument's sake, let's look at if there was a version of us who got heartbroken inside of the experience that this consciousness that you are in, is having based on the fact that you've been living in this template, which is stringing experiences together and having it appear like you are linearity, having it appear that you have this very specific past and this very specific now. Yet the truth is your past is so subjective, meaning there are many perceptions and vantage points about your past that would totally change the trajectory of who you are now. Does this make sense? So running this template means that we hold on to a narrative, yeah? And the new template of soul time begins with getting that every one of us is sovereign, every one of us is brand new. And that means that you right now get to choose who you co-create with and how you perceive. And you get to first accept that all of these versions of you exist right now at the same time as you. And you're becoming them. You're literally co-creating with them. Saikta arahata u isatai, sutuita arahatai, sutui. The first layer of the babushka doll. Sata ikta. Receive this through your heart. Allow yourself to be you in this moment of now. Everything that you have experienced through co-creation of remembering other versions of your memory. This is everything you remember is simply you connecting to other versions of you in the quantum, and their memory, their experiences come into your field as a memory. But it's not yours, it's theirs. It's not you that got your heart broken. It's not you that won the gold medal. It's not you. And yet at the same time, all of it is you. And there's so much more within here that you may have missed because you just didn't catch it with your filtration process. You may have deleted a whole experience because it didn't seem important, and yet you attach to a specific experience. So you may have attached to this version, but not this version but not this version, yet all of them are part of the soul network.